cut. Now, if you have some at the end, this was a pretty even pineapple, but sometimes you have a pineapple that goes much more narrow at the end and much more narrow at the bottom. If you have that, and let's say you cut a slice, and I'm just going to cheat this one, and it is a small slice like this, you can take it, and since if you laid it in here, it would just be flat, you can take a ring mold or something and you can put it in that. What you're trying to do is you're trying to give it a cupped flower shape. So we're going to fill all our tins, we're going to cut our whole pineapple, and then we're going to put this in the oven. And we're going to put it on 250 degrees for about 30 minutes. And then we're going to come in and take a look at them, see how they look, and you might want to add another 30 minutes. It depends on a lot of factors. It depends on how thick you cut your pineapple. It depends on how dry or humid your weather is. But I'm going to show you how you want them to end up. But we're going to start at 250 degrees for 30 minutes, and then we're just going to add time to that until we get the desired effect. All right, so these are my pineapples that I've put away and put in the oven for about different amount of time. I think these went in for about a half an hour, and then I did it again for about another half an hour. And what we're going for is we're going for dried out pineapples. This is a dried out pineapple. And you can go so far as to get them just to where they're dried out and the edges are still the same color, or you can go and get them dark. So the edges have a little bit of a darkish burned color on them. And even as far as getting them really brown around some of the edges. The thing about these is they'll never be equally all the way around because they're nature and they're natural, and so the most you can hope for is that you get kind of an even structure. And this is all you can really have to do. If you want, you can just put this just as it is on a cupcake. All right, so I've got a couple of different sizes of pineapple. I've got bigger ones and I've got medium ones that I put in ring molds here. And then I've actually got even smaller pieces that came off the very top of the pineapples. So I'm going to put these together. I could use this just like this because that looks like a flower, but I'm going to actually put some of them together and make multi-layered flowers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my bigger ones, and I'm just going to put a tiny little bit of royal in there. And I'm going to take one of my smaller pieces and lay it on top. And then I'm going to do a third level. I'm going to take a little bit of royal, and then I'm going to take one of my tiny pieces and put that on top. And now you see I've got kind of a multi-layered flower. So I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to make a couple more with a few different layers, and then I'm going to show you how to use those on your cakes. Hi, we're back. Now we're going to start our top tier. Now I've covered this tier with fondant, and I'm all ready to airbrush it. I'm going to airbrush it a nice solid gold color. So I've got my airbrush, I've got my gold airbrush color. Now the trick with airbrushing is you want to go even, slow strokes and keep moving your turntable as you go. So we're going to start, and I'm going to try that and show you what we're going to do. So even, slow strokes. And I'm just going to do it across the top right now while I keep turning. Now I'm going to move down slightly halfway down, kind of filling in as I go around. Going to go on the bottom. And then I'm going to do the top, kind of spin. Oop. And I'm out of color, so let me add a little bit more color to my airbrush. Right there. Always better if you fill it, but thought I had enough in there, but I guess I didn't. So we're going to add more. Let's add more than enough this time. And you don't have to worry if you run out like I ran out, because it's all just drying. You don't want to let it bead. So the trick is not to let it get so much that the airbrush color beads up, because that's too much. So we're going to keep going, spinning as we go, giving it a light coating all the way around.